Ever sit with yourself after a relationship ends and wonder what is wrong with you? Sometimes we take an extreme amount of time to reflect, contemplate, and understand exactly what we may have done wrong or how we may have acted that made the other person decide to leave. But what if I told you that it's not always your fault? What if instead of seeking what is wrong with you, we take that step back to see the relationship for what it was? What if there isn't anything wrong with you? Maybe it's what the other person was seeking. I know this will sound completely bizarre, but what if the one who left liked anxiety or enjoyed being hurt, and that was something your kind heart just couldn't do? Kind of changes the dynamic, doesn't it? Being calm, cool, and collected are not bad traits, and things are not always your fault. Sometimes the faults we find for things ending are not ours to hold. When a relationship ends, it often feels like the ground shifts beneath your feet. There's a swirl of emotions, sadness, confusion, anger, and sometimes even relief. In these raw moments, many of us instinctively turn inward, searching for answers and trying to understand what went wrong. The tendency to self-blame is strong, and it's easy to replay every conversation, every decision, and every misstep, wondering if you could have done something differently. Today, we'll explore why we so often internalize the fault and how we can start to view breakups with more compassion and maybe a different perspective. After a breakup, it's common to overanalyze every detail of the relationship. You might ask yourself, did I say the wrong thing? Or was I not enough? This kind of self-reflection, while natural, can easily turn into harsh self-criticism. Instead of finding clarity, you may spiral into questioning your self-worth. The urge to dissect your actions is often rooted in a desire for control. The thoughts behind this is that if you can pinpoint your mistake, then maybe you can avoid future pain. But relationships are complex, and rarely does the blame rest solely on one person's shoulders. We're taught to believe that if something fails, it's because we did something wrong. But relationships involve two unique individuals, each bringing their own history, preferences, and behaviors to the table. It's important to challenge the belief that the fault always lies with you. Sometimes breakups happen because the other person's needs or boundaries change, or because their behavior creates distance. By viewing the relationship as a whole, you realize that endings often reflect a combination of circumstances, not a single failing on your part. Not all relationships are healthy, and sometimes it's the toxic dynamics that leave the deepest scars. Toxic relationships might involve manipulation, constant criticism, or cycles of intense highs and crushing lows. If you've been in a relationship where you were made to feel small, anxious, or always on edge, it's not your fault. Here's the part where it gets a little strange. Some people find themselves craving the drama or emotional intensity of unhealthy dynamics because it feels familiar or gives them a sense of excitement. This craving is often a response to past experiences or unmet needs. Recognizing these patterns is a powerful step toward healing. My friends, please, for the love of God, remember that this is not a reflection of your worth. Your inability to be a toxic dumpster fire is by no means anything negative. In a world that sometimes glamorizes drama and intensity, being calm, kind, and collected can often feel undervalued. You might wonder if you were too boring or too stable for your partner, especially if they seem to thrive on chaos. But these traits are strengths, not shortcomings. They create an environment of trust and safety, allowing love to grow in a healthy way. Don't let anyone make you feel less than for being steady, thoughtful, or gentle. These are the building blocks of lasting, meaningful connections. It's time to release the burden of blaming yourself for everything that went wrong. Relationships end for countless reasons, many of which are outside of your control. Reflecting on your actions is valuable, but holding on to guilt that isn't yours only holds you back. Allow yourself to grieve, but also to grow. Trust that you are enough just as you are, and that your kindness, calmness, and self-awareness are qualities to celebrate, not to hide. The pain of a breakup is real, but so is your resilience. When you find yourself overanalyzing and internalizing blame, pause and remember that relationships are a shared story. You are not defined by a single ending, nor are you responsible for all its chapters. Embrace self-compassion, honor your journey, and keep your heart open to the possibility that the next chapter will bring the understanding and connection that you deserve.